What would you do if your loving parents suddenly turned into cold-blooded killers, and they only wanted one thing: you dead? In this insane horror comedy, every mom and dad in town snaps without warning, turning suburban life into a nightmare. No one knows why. No one knows how to stop it. All you could do is run. To know what happened, watch the full video. The movie starts with a woman sitting in her car, listening to music on a radio. She gets out of the car, and we then see she left her child in the back seat. The car is parked on train tracks. As she walks away, a train speeds toward the car. Before the crash, the screen goes black. It's clear the child doesn't survive. Next, we see the Ryan family: the dad, Brent, the mom, Kendall, their teenage daughter, Carly, and their son, Josh. Carly is on the phone with her boyfriend, Damon, while he rides his bike to school. They plan to meet later, but her parents don't know about him. Soon after, the family eats breakfast in the kitchen. Meanwhile, the housekeeper, Sun E, and her daughter, Jean Lisa, are cleaning. The family starts arguing when Kendall says Brent's parents are coming for dinner, so Carly can't go to see her boyfriend. We also find out that Kendall's sister is pregnant. On the way to school, Carly and Kendall argue in the car. We see a flashback of Carly stealing money from her mom. Carly tells Kendall she has no life. At home, Brent starts acting strange. He quietly curses at Sunny and gives Josh a creepy stare, though he laughs it off. Then, Brent gets into his car and has a flashback of being young in a sports car with a girl. Meanwhile, at school, Carly's friend, Riley, loses her phone for playing music loudly in class. Right after, Carly texts Damon and her phone also get taken. At the house, Josh is playing with a toy when he drops it in the front door. We then flash back to Josh saving an injured kitten from some crows and placing it in a box in his dad's sports car in an attempt to save it. Sometime later, he goes back and sees the kitten is now dead, but runs when he hears his dad arriving. Brett opens the car door, sees the dead cat, and flips out. The flashback is interrupted when Josh hears Jean Lisa scream. Meanwhile, at the school, Carly and Riley buy some drugs using the money Carly stole and hear an alarm blaring in the halls. All the kids exit the school, and the two see someone's mother getting dragged away by cops. At the school gates, dozens of parents are demanding their children, while they're being held back by school security and police. At Damon's testing center, he finishes his exam and sees multiple parents standing outside the door. He exits, and the parents don't seem interested in him, letting him pass unscathed. Back with Carly and Riley at the school, the parents are becoming irate as they're held back behind gates, demanding they get their children. One of the kids jumps the gates and is grabbed by his mother, who immediately stabs him with her keys. Now that everyone, teachers, security, and students all find out the parents are trying to kill their kids, all the parents start climbing the gates. The kids run from the school as we see parents tackling, suffocating, and stabbing their children. Carly and Riley stick together and are able to make it to Riley's car. Meanwhile, Damon arrives home and is attacked by his father, who uses a broken glass bottle to slash his arm. The father tries again to stab him, but Damon pushes the table, causing him to fall and stabs himself in the neck. Even as his father is bleeding out, he is still trying to grab Damon to kill him, but he can't make it and dies. As we zoom into a TV playing static, leading us to believe this is caused by some kind of signal being sent through static TV. Meanwhile, Kendall and Riley's mom are in dance class. After the class, Kendall checks her purse and finds out that Carly stole her money. A short time later, as she gets in her car, we see a flashback where Kendall attempted to get her old job at a media company back, but is turned down by her former boss. In the present, Kendall gets a call that her sister is going into labor. Meanwhile, Riley and Carly arrive at Riley's home, where Carly immediately turns on the television to find out what's going on, as Riley decides the shit is boring and does some drugs. While Riley realizes her mom is home and heads upstairs, Carly sees a news report of other parents killing their children. There's then a cameo by snake oil salesman Mehmet Oz, who spouts some overly exaggerated numbers on pigs who kill their own piglets in an attempt to explain why parents are trying to kill their children. Carly realizes that Riley is missing and heads upstairs, where she finds her being killed by her mother. Kendall arrives at the hospital, where she sees a news report with some more talking about a reason for the parental attacks. Though they're unclear on what causes it, they are assuming it could have been due to terrorists, hysteria, or neurotoxins. Kendall's sister arrives, and after she gives birth, we see one of the televisions switch to static, This immediately causes her to attempt to kill her baby. Luckily, Kendall is able to save the baby, and security arrives with a nurse to take the baby. Meanwhile, Carly is running home when she's found by Damon, who says they have to rush back to her house to save Josh. The two enter the home and see Sun-E cleaning up her daughter's blood. After sending Sun-E home, Carly heads upstairs to get Josh, finding him hiding under his bed. At first, Josh refuses to get out, but then says he needs his backpack first. Damon waits downstairs and is started by Brent, who has arrived home early. Brent assumes Damon was there to intimate with Carly and starts to aggressively lecture him on how he knows what 17-year-olds want since he was young once. Before he can do anything, Carly and Josh come downstairs and Josh stupidly calls out to his dad. Brent turns, sees his children, and goes into murder mode. Brent runs toward the kids, but Damon grabs him and they start fighting. Brent quickly wins and knocks Damon out with a punch to the head. Carly and Josh run while Brent chases them, but he slips on one of Josh's toys and gets knocked out. Carly and Josh run to the basement and lock the door. In the unfinished basement, they see what's left of an old pool table. A flashback shows Brent building the table, but then smashing it with a sledgehammer after Kendall questions why he bought it. Brent and Kendall talk about how much they gave up for their kids and how their lives turned out very different from what they had hoped for. In the present, Kendall drives up to the house, and as she hears the radio telling parents to stay away from their children, it switches to static, which infects her. Kendall enters the house and wakes up Brent, who tells her the kids are in the basement. She tries to calmly get Carly to open the door, but Carly refuses. Brent loses it and hilariously demands they open the door before he breaks down. Kendall then decides to get an electric saw, which doesn't work at first, but after Brent heads upstairs to get something else, the saw starts to pierce through the door. It turns out Brent was looking for a gun he kept in a case under the bed, but when he opens it, the gun is gone. Suddenly, 2 shots are heard, and Kendall screams. Josh had the gun in his backpack and fired through the door, hitting Kendall in the arm. Brent runs downstairs, and Kendall demands to know why the gun was in the house. Kendall angrily says that 1 in 5 kids' injuries involve guns, which is ironic since she's now trying to kill her own kids. A flashback shows Josh finding the gun, opening the case, and playing with it. Back in the present, Brent cleans and wraps Kendall's arm as she comes up with a plan to gas the kids. They attach one end of a hose to the gas pipe on the stove and put the other end through the basement window. Kendall then covers the window with dirt and seals the saw holes in the basement door with tape. That night, while looking for a way out of the basement, Carly finds a grate that leads into the walls. She also finds a matchbox. She tapes several matches to the bottom of the basement door and sticks the strike paper right below them. Brent and Kendall hear Carly and Josh coughing and decide it's time to break in. Brent uses a saw to finish cutting the lock, while the kids crawl into the walls through the grate. When Brent opens the door, the matches light up and, mixed with the gas, cause a big explosion. The explosion knocks Brent out, but Kendall is only thrown backward. Meanwhile, the kids get out of the walls on the second floor. Carly is spotted by Kendall, who is now holding a meat tenderizer. Kendall chases her and corners her in the master bedroom. They fight, but Damon shows up and helps lock Kendall in the closet. Damon and Carly laugh, but Josh distracts Carly for a moment. That's enough time for Kendall to reach out of the closet and swipe at them with a thin metal hanger. She stabs Damon in the cheek. Carly and Damon run out as he pulls the hanger out of his face. Kendall then charges at Carly with a meat tenderizer, but Damon pushes Carly out of the way and takes the hit. It knocks him over the railing, and he falls to the first floor. Carly and Josh run downstairs, but Brent shows up with an electric saw. He and Kendall corner the kids in the kitchen. Just as they're about to attack, the doorbell rings. Kendall remembers Brent's parents are coming for dinner. Brent opens the door to find his parents, Mel and Barbara. Suddenly, Barbara sprays him with pepper spray, and Mel cuts his stomach with a hunting knife. Mel gets ready to finish him off, but Josh steps in and begs him not to kill Brent. Brent suddenly lunges at Josh, who runs to the garage. Brent follows him, and Mel runs after them with a knife. Meanwhile, Kendall starts to come back to her senses and tries to stop Barbara from killing Brent. In the garage, Josh jumps into the sports car to avoid Brent, who now has an axe. He starts the car, but Brent smashes through the window. Mel attacks Brent, trying to stab him in the heart. Josh escapes the car while Brent and Mel fight inside, causing the car to back out and crash through the garage doors. Inside the house, Kendall knocks Barbara out with a meat tenderizer and feels the urge to kill Carly again. Carly runs out, but Kendall catches her, knocking her down. Before she can deliver the final blow, Barbara grabs Kendall's hair, and they struggle. Kendall pushes Barbara away just as the car crashes through the garage door, hitting Barbara and killing her. The car then crashes into another car, knocking Brent out and sending Mel through the roof window, killing him. Kendall turns back to Carly, but is knocked out by Damon with a shovel as the screen cuts to black. The next morning, Kendall and Brent wake up in the basement, tied to a pipe and being watched by Josh, Carly, and Damon. Kendall and Brent try to act like they're cured, but Brent loses control quickly. The four of them express their love for each other, and Brent starts to say, "But sometimes we just want to." The film ends before he finishes his sentence.
Sometimes we just want to.
Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe for more interesting movie recaps.